Today, it is different with you in the room. Deanne and I and the staff here have been alone broadcasting to you for this last year. And I just have to tell you, emotionally, it feels different to be in the room with you. And for those of you online, it feels different to be thinking of how we interact with you in this moment and how we get to choose that and consciously evolve spirituality and what Sunday or any day of the week of spiritual service is, because it is the 21st century. So how do we do that now? How do we make that choice today? The talk title I working with right until this moment is The Life We Choose. The life we choose. And it's because of the evolution of all of our lives this year that it has such prescience for me. On Monday, for the first time in over a year, I got on a plane. I realized are you going to click for me? You're good. Thank you. I got on a plane. And I flew down to New Orleans to see my family, my mom specifically, but my nephew, Connor, who I helped raise, had a baby. He and his wife, I also married them. I performed their wedding ceremony 2 years ago, and they had their first baby, Tori is her name. She's 2 months old. So on Monday, I got to hold a 2-month-old, and she is so beautiful, and they are such good parents. And seeing that evolution of life from the little boy I helped raise, now has a little girl of his own, that journey touched me, and I was able to be part of it, able to touch life. And at the same time, I went to visit my 83-year-old mom. And she's in a memory care unit in New Orleans also, and it's the first time I had seen her in over a year. And she doesn't know that. And that's a blessing. She didn't know that we hadn't seen each other. And I got to choose. In that moment, once again, has been the journey with Mom, and as I know most of you, it's okay, Robert, that's my mom calling probably. She wants to, if we could turn it off, that would be great. And it is one of the pleasures of having us all live back in the room. Amen, we'll take it. So she doesn't know that we haven't been together. And I showed her pictures of the kids. I showed her pictures of JD and I showed her pictures of everything. And we just sat and talked. And she would sit there and tap her feet and sing songs to herself. And we'd sing songs together. And after I showed her all the pictures, she asked me, "So are you dating anybody new? Is there a new woman in your life?" Which I just got to say, "No, there's not." And she goes, "Well, I guess that's best." I said, "Yes, that's best." And it was wonderfully perfect. The next day, I went and stayed with her, and they have a rule, you can only stay a certain amount of time, and I just kept waiting for someone to kick me out, and no one did. So I was there for 6 hours with Mom, helping her organize her closets and arrange her clothes and how she might use them. Might have been a clue to her that I'm not dating a woman, but... But we did all of that, and at one point in the evening, she gets a little disoriented as the day goes on, and she started wandering, and I just kept following around, wandering on the floor with her. And another woman on the floor who was also doing the same thing, and I know Elizabeth knows this, and many of you are dealing with family members like this too, it's the sundowner syndrome they talk about. As the day wears on, the memory erodes further, and they become a little disoriented. So this woman, as I was following Mom around, walks up to me and places herself in my chest. She wanted to be hugged. And I enveloped her in a hug and she just rocked herself like a baby in my arms. So the journey of my 2 days was beautiful, and I was standing there with this woman whose name I didn't know and don't know, and it's okay. And I looked up, though, and Mom was staring at me with the look she would have given me when I was 5. Look, like, how dare you be hugging someone else? And I got to look at Mom and say, Mom, do you want a hug? And she shook her head, yes. And so I got to go over and give her another hug. In that moment, in all of those moments, I got to choose just to be with her as she is. That conscious choice. And I think it's a choice for all of us. Mine was heightened this week, but it's a choice we all have every day during this year, during this COVID, during all of this coming out. Are we really being present to what is and the beauty in the moments we do get to interact, to touch, to connect? You know, because there's blessings in all of it. I mean, we say that here all the time. Everything's a gift, right? It's all good. You might hear people in Unity say, and you want to go, really? All good? All good? Well, I got to be there with Mom, and it was all good. It was good that she doesn't remember. It was good she got COVID at Christmas. On Christmas Eve, I got a phone call that she had tested positive for COVID. And I didn't know at that moment what was going to happen. But she doesn't know COVID exists. So she kept forgetting that she was supposed to be scared. She kept forgetting that she was supposed to be worried, and she never got sick. She tested positive but never got sick. And she's 83 and not in good health. Let's just put it that. She does not take care of herself. And that's okay, too. I get to call that good. And so as I sat with her and saw those choices, I also realized that fear has left her life. The mom I knew was scared of everything. She was scared about the resources. She was scared about money. She was scared about me being gay. She was scared about cancer. She was sure she was going to die of cancer because her mother had died of cancer. And she lived her life in this perpetual fear. Well, now she thinks she's wealthy. She says, money's no problem. She doesn't have a purse, she doesn't have a wallet, and all her meals are cooked for her. She is wealthy, right? And she doesn't worry about illness and disease. She doesn't worry about her children constantly. She lives in the present now, and I was really taken by the moment that I got to hold both of these beings of light, the 2-month-old and the 83-year-old, living in the moment. And boy, what a lesson they gave me. What a lesson to be fully present and to release fear. How many of you have experienced a little bit of fear this year, right? And the ability to let it go. You know, we just talked about our Jesus windows, and I just did a 4-week series, 5 weeks if we count Easter, series on Jesus. And I didn't mention this quote, but here it is. Who of you, by worrying, can add a single hour to your life? Right? Has our worrying added a single hour? That's not saying you don't take precautions, but the worry is insidious. It's insidious. And so I asked Misa and Carl to sing this song because I think we really do need to let some of this go as we come to the end of this journey and we can see the light at the end of this tunnel, to really release fear so that we can live fully today. I give you Misa and Carl with a Stevie Wonder tune.
Everybody's got a thing, but some don't know how to handle it. Always reaching out in vain, just taking the things not worth having. But don't you worry about a thing. Don't you worry about a thing. 'cause I'll be standing on the side when you check it out.
They say your style of life's a drag, and that you must go other places. But just don't you feel too bad when you get fooled by smiling faces. But don't you worry about a thing. Don't you worry about a thing, baby. 'Cause I'll be standing on the side when you check it out. When you get off your chair, don't you worry about a thing. Don't you worry about a thing. Everybody needs a change, a chance to check out the new. You're the only one to see the changes you take yourself through. Don't you worry about a thing. 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 Ba 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 ba. Don't you worry about a thing. Oh, don't you worry about a thing. Don't you worry about a thing.
Lisa Malone and Carl Pantel. Woo! Oh, the life we choose, the songs we choose, right? The earworms that we put into our mind, because that was so much fun. On Thursday nights, we record music here, and it is a blast, right? It's to keep you guys safe and to keep us all safe, and we just love it. I have had the privilege in this year to hear live music weekly because we record the music here, right? And it is so important, the life we choose. When I first came to Unity, I heard someone say, look at your life, because whatever is going on in your life, you have chosen it. And I was like, whoa, wait. All of it? Everything. You've chosen it. And there was a huge pushback within me, and I'm guessing that maybe some of you are having some pushback around that right now too, but it is part of our teachings that what we experience in life, we are choosing. It is created by our conscious thoughts, by our participation in life, by the repetition of thoughts and beliefs. And one of them for me is time. There's just time, right? It's like looking back on this year, have we lost a year? My kids are a year older. I'm a year older. I don't think we really lost it. I may have squandered moments of it. I may have been unconscious for some of it. But we didn't lose the year. But our language will tell us things like that. And one of my first Unity teachers who confronted me with this is Eric Butterworth, and he said, things may happen around you and things may happen to you. But the only things that really matter are the things that happen in you. And this year has happened around us, and certainly to us. How have we all reacted? How have we dealt with this passage of time? And time seems to be this very elusive thing as we look at this image of an hourglass. You can imagine the time just pouring through and escaping. Countdown till this, countdown till I'm 6, as my daughter says. I can't wait till I'm 6. Please wait, because you'll be 66 before you know it, right? And that idea that it is all slipping away is one of the illusions that we believe. Because if you take that same hourglass and turn it on its side, time stops, right? When we're present, like that 2-month-old and that 83-year-old, time is irrelevant. And we can choose that in this moment to know this moment with each other is infinite. Don't worry about what's going to happen down the line. This moment is all that there is. And this hourglass is actually an infinity symbol when you look at it in this way. And you can set it up again, and it will mark a certain passage of time. But it represents the wholeness of time and what Joe Dispenza calls Einstein time. How we move past this clock, this digital concept of structured time, and know that time is relative and that we are eternal. That we can move through any crisis, any situation, fully present and fully aware of the infinity of our being. As I sit out here and I stand here and I look, sitting out in front of me are 3 generations of someone named Nelson C. Barry. Right? Wow. Talk about the continuum of life and talk about the oneness that entails. As I sat with my mother, as I look at the picture of me and my mom going, God, we look alike. So that's what I'll look like at 83. Good. It's all good. And I asked her while I was sitting there too, I said, tell me a story about your parents, something I don't know. And she said, well, they're doing pretty good. They don't really get along too well, but I don't think divorce is in the cards. They've been dead 40 years. But not to her. And I thought that was the most wonderful answer that a person could give. They're doing pretty good. And she's with them. And who's to say that she's not, right? We all believe we can't be. But maybe Mom's at a place where she gets to be with them right now. Right now that she's sort of not in her body. And what a gift it all is. Things happen. Sickness, death, disease, financial crises, all happen. The most important thing is what happens within you, how you react to it. And the lesson for me as I had to kiss her goodbye, and she said, you have to leave? And I said, yeah, I have to get back on a plane. And she said, well, when will you be back? And when I said I don't know, the look on her face was horrible. She said, you don't know? When am I going to see you again? And I said, I'll come back in 2 days. At which she lit up and was happy. So I could kiss her and cry and walk out. I know I'm not back in 2 days, but she doesn't. And I am happy for her. I'm happy for her, and both can exist at the same time. I can be sad and happy, and I can be present to loving her as she is right now. That's the lesson of this year for me. I want to love each and every one of you as you are. And I invite you today to do that by setting your intention for the day. Before I walked into the room with Mom, before I got on the plane to fly to New Orleans, I set my intention for what I would experience. And I talk about setting intentions in a very specific way, and we'll do a meditation here in a minute about it. But what do you want to experience? What do you want to experience in this day? For the rest of this day, what do you want to experience? Set your intention for it, and it will manifest for you. And then who do you want to, or who do you have to be, might be a better way to put it, for you to experience that? Who do you have to show up as for you to experience the thing you want? And those two intentions together, JD and I pass them back and forth to each other. As we set our intentions for the day, shift our experience of everything and affects what happens within us. And then the other thing is the gifts of gratitude. I am so grateful for this space. I am so grateful that my no wasn't a permanent no. Because Deanne and I, we were telling someone earlier that the first thing we said when we saw this building was, no, that is way too much work. And it is. Trust me, it is. And I'm so grateful for the building. The gifts of gratitude is, what love did you experience today? What love did you give or receive? What love did you experience today? Are you grateful for it? Did you feel it? Did you give it, share it? What opened your eyes to the divine? As Alan Klein would talk about it in his new book and in his class he's teaching right now, is awe. What was the awesome experience of your day? What just blew your mind? Are you grateful for that? And what made you smile? What made you smile for the day? Remembering those things as you conclude your day sets you up for a good night's sleep and for a beautiful day. So the life you're living right now is the life you chose. You did. You chose it. And here you are in it. What happens after this moment is the life you choose. So let's set our intention for the life we're choosing to move into. Take this to our time of meditation